Hi everyone, it's Marianne. Thank you for joining me on Happy Paper People today. A while ago I made some ATCs, Artist Trading Coins, with some old fingernail polish that I had and water. And I've been using them for things and I'm just about out of them. And I got to thinking today that I wanted to experiment with fingernail polish versus alcohol ink and see what the difference was, which one I liked best in ease of use as well as the look that it gave and on different papers. So I sat down to do the experiment and thought, well, I'll just flip on the camera because some of you might be interested in this experiment as well. So I have for each some ATCs pre-cut. That's a 2.5-inch circle. I have a punch, so I just punch them out. And these are graphics plastic paper, very similar to Yupo. Many of you are familiar with Yupo. Excuse me, graphics I get on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description box below. It is just a lot less expensive than Yupo. That's why I get graphics. And then I have some watercolor paper because I wonder if it'll act differently on the watercolor paper versus the plastic paper. So I have the same for both. So on this side, I have a little dish of water and ready to go with fingernail polish. This side, I have a dish of water ready to go for the alcohol inks. Couldn't decide what color to use, so I just grabbed a whole bunch of alcohol inks and thought, well, I'll figure it out as I go along. So I'm not using any particular brand of fingernail polish. This is Ulta. Oh, that happens to be Ulta as well. This is OPI. This one's Ulta. They're just whatever. LA Colors, so whatever. I don't know that the brand matters. Maybe it does. So we'll find out if there's a difference there. So let's start with the fingernail polish. And last time when I took out the fingernail polish to experiment, was the first time I had done that. So I just dropped some in there. I'm going to do the same thing. I suppose you could try to drop it in or pour it in a design. And I don't even know how much I'm supposed to be using, so we'll kind of figure that out as well. I do have, I meant to get some toothpicks, something really skinny, but I do have some sticks here that I've used for some other mixed media things that maybe I can stir these around just a tiny bit to see. And it leaves a lot on there. That's interesting. Have to think about what I can do with that so we don't waste that polish. All right, so first I'm going to set a piece of graphics plastic paper on that. And I'm just going to give it a minute for the fingernail polish to grab onto the plastic paper. That's all I want, is for it to grab onto the plastic paper. That was thick enough that it's still running. So I could tilt it and make it go somewhere if I want. I kind of like having all that white space though, because that adds a third color in with this. I think I'm going to, oops, I did not close that one up. I'm going to move these to the side, and so I can just set this in my tray and let it dry there. I didn't, probably should have put a piece of paper down, huh? Let's do one more, the same, and do it with the watercolor paper. I feel like maybe I had possibly a little too much, or more than I need anyway, fingernail polish on, on that one. So if you're like me and you've got fingernail polishes sitting around that just aren't getting used, it's a great way to use them in your art. Or if you don't have any sitting around, I know they're cheap at Dollar Tree, probably at other stores as well, but it is a cool art medium that you can pick up for specific projects like this without having to spend a lot of money. And that's always a bonus, right? When you don't have to spend a lot of money, especially for experimenting. So I'm going to drop that watercolor paper onto the fingernail polish. And again, I just want it to grab. Ooh, cool little bubbles that caught there. Now I feel like I could tilt it and get the polish to run over the bubbles. Or I could probably put it back onto the water and put that bubble over a little piece of polish that's, excuse me, that's right there and pick that up. But I'm going to leave it because I'm thinking that might be cool as it dries to have that little bubble there. That would give me something that I could actually doodle on that bubble and fill it in with a different color, or to just go around it and highlight it with a marker or something. So, okay, so that's the first one. Let's leave the first one down there. Let's go to the alcohol ink. I'm kind of sort of feeling black and pink right now. Not sure why. And I have not tried this, so it'll be really interesting to see what this one does. Fiesta, that's nice and bright pink. So let's see what Fiesta and Pitch Black do. I'm kind of tempted to put a little slate in there too. That's a gray, black, gray, and pink. If there's any white left on the card, that would be a cool addition too. Well, I don't know. Maybe there will be. I feel like I've put a lot of alcohol ink in there, so there might not be any white left. But I could do it with a lot less alcohol ink to purposefully get some white, because I think I would like white with the black and the pink. Ooh, that black is really, really black. Very interesting. I don't know if that's just because it was black or if because there was so much black concentrated. So there's still quite a bit of pink there. I'm going to try just a couple of drops of black and use the watercolor paper. I want to try to get that pink that's over there. Maybe I put way too much black in. That is entirely possible. Interesting. Very gravelly. Very gravelly. Okay. All right. So, I'm going to wondering about adding color to that. Maybe I shouldn't have started with black. I should have started with light colors and added black later. But let's add some wild plum and see what happens. If I need to, I can dump the water out, put some more in, and a little amethyst. Because at this point, I'm probably not going to get any white on this paper because the entire water is colored. Although we know that the alcohol ink does not mix with water. I could dunk it in to get both sides. That looks kind of pretty. I'm going to do that. I pull it out. Okay, some Fiesta. I see some amethyst and some wild plum. That's what that is. Pretty. Let that run down there a bit. Now I know they're going to change somewhat as they dry, so it'll be interesting to take another look at them. Let's add a drop of boysenberry. Those dark ones are showing up nicely. And wonder what we'll get with a drop of bright yellow. This is dandelion. Will it show up? Let's find out. And we'll try this one on the watercolor. On the watercolor paper. Only one. There's a nice bubble. Bubble just popped. Ooh, nice, pretty. Ooh, several bubbles in there. Just popped. I like the bubbles. I like the bubbles. They give room for other things to be added to the art. Okay, So let's come back over here to the fingernail polish. We've got just a little bit of teal and a little bit of that peach still floating around there. So let's think about adding to that. What if we added... these fingernail polishes were not purchased in to coordinate with each other. How about some... maybe this one. It's dark, but it's more of a magenta than a red. That other one's very red. So let's see what this magenta does. Oh, probably got too much. Easy to be heavy-handed on the fingernail polish for me. And maybe a little bit lighter color. How about a little bit of neutral here? I don't know what this is called. If I turn it upside down, I'm just going to pour it everywhere. So, oh, doesn't look like there's very much left in this one. It might not even come out. There it comes. There isn't much left. So that's going to give us little tiny squiggly lines. Oh, I think our little mixer ball just fell out into the water. Interesting. So that one's about gone. Okay, so let's try. It's maintained a pretty nice design up there, though. Let's see what it does with the plastic paper. Interesting. Leave that on the side of the bowl. That is interesting. That pink is very dominant, but I probably got a little heavy-handed with the pink. Okay. And that magenta. Okay, let's try it going a little bit lighter on the magenta. I might need to practice this a few times because when I go a little lighter, and so it mixes better, I also did not mix that with the stick at all. I like it better when I go a little lighter handed, and so there's less fingernail polish to move around, and it mixes together a little bit better. Okay, let's check that one out. We'll do that one on watercolor paper. Might be able to put another one into this one without even having to add more fingernail polish, because there's quite a bit over there. Ooh, that's pretty. Let that one sit down, dry. And I'm going to take a piece of alcohol paper. Okay, so on the left is the alcohol paper, on the right is the watercolor paper. And I'm seeing that it does attach or adhere to the paper differently. All right. I like that probably the best of all, that one and this one up top. And there was the least amount of fingernail polish on that one. So I think that's showing me that it doesn't need nearly as much polish as I think that it does. So let's do this. Let's try 3 shades of pink. There's a middle shade. I need to get something other than pink out here, huh? I do have a whole bunch of reds. There's a light one. And that dark one, that dark magenta. Okay, this one I'm going to try the watercolor paper first. I keep doing the plastic paper first, and that picks up the majority of it, and so it's quite a bit thicker. And so I'd really like to know if that's because it's first or if that's because of the way that paper reacts. So let's try the watercolor paper first on this one. Oh, I like that a lot. like that a lot. Okay. Let's see if we can get some of this off the side back into the water. Don't know if it will, or if it's even worth trying. Got a baby wipe over here that I'm wiping it off with. Okay, let's try the plastic paper on that. Ooh, that's pretty too. And that was without even putting any additional, oh no, that's watercolor paper. Ooh, that is watercolor paper. This one is plastic paper. Let's see if it picks up anything. So that was the last plastic paper. And the last, I'm going all the way down to the bottom because there are a few chunks that have floated to the bottom. I'm trying to disrupt them, bring them up and see if they attach. Or maybe I don't want them to attach. Interesting. Well, some never turn out, some don't turn out as great as others, and those are ones I end up doing something else over the top of. It just becomes a layer. That's the great thing about paper and plastic. If you don't like it, it's just a layer on the way to something that you do like. Okay, so let's try a couple more on the alcohol ink. As these are drying, I'm liking them a whole lot better. Okay, so we've got a pretty dark here. I did like that bright yellow. Excuse me. It did show up. So I'm going to add a little bit more yellow. And how about a little bit sailboat blue? I might dump this out and try a new color combination with the last couple of pieces. All right, put that in there. This over here. We'll bring this up front. Ooh. So even though the water has changed color, it's not clear anymore. It's all the colors of the alcohol ink we put in. The new alcohol ink that we drop in sits on the top, and so it gets picked up. So here's the watercolor paper. I didn't put anything else in. Is there anything left on the top for it to pick up? Oh, wow. I'm going to bring that one up close, see if it'll focus. That is, it's really light. It's really pretty. It looks like handmade paper. That's what it looks like. I hope it's focusing. I think it's focusing. It looks like it is there. Okay. All right. So we've got, what do we have? Two more? One more. Did I use one? I've got two more. I might have miscounted. Oh, yeah. I just put four. I thought I put four of each. Okay. So we've got, I'm going to try this. Let's grab this bowl and we'll pour this water in here. And we'll just add a little bit of clear water. We won't worry about what's on the bottom there. So we can do some new alcohol ink. Let's try some lighter colors. How about pink sherbet? And with pink sherbet, we need something blue. How about aquamarine? And then how about a drop or two of that dandelion? That was really pretty. Now, on the alcohol inks, I don't think I've mixed any of them up. Now I'm forgetting, but I don't think I mixed any of them up. They all, I just let them go where they dropped. So maybe I'll do that. Mix it just a little bit. I'm seeing a lot of the blue. I'm seeing a lot of the yellow. I don't see any of the pink. It might just be hiding. Let's see if any of that pink sherbet shows up here. Not much. The pink got washed out. The blue and yellow. I was hoping they wouldn't mix and make green, and they didn't. The water's green, but I can still see the blue and yellow separately on the paper. The water's kind of greenish yellow now, so I'm going to add some Fiesta, which is a bright pink, and some of that sailboat blue. About 3 drops there. All right, give it just a minute here. We'll pick that up. Ooh, that's pretty. We got some purple with that pink and blue. We didn't get any green, even though the paper is green. All right, I am curious, just curious with 1 drop of black. Last piece of paper. This is a piece of plastic paper. And we've already got 4 of each, but I'm curious with this last one sitting here with 1 drop of black and several drops of yellow. There's 4 drops of yellow. What we might get with that. And I want to hurry and get that in before it totally spreads out. Something about the black. Okay, it did it again. I didn't put much black. There was only 1 drop of black on that one. Let's pop that bubble. There was only 1 drop of black there, but it still formulates like gravel. That's very interesting. Very interesting. And it did that on both the plastic paper and on the watercolor paper. So that is very interesting. Okay, so there's our experiment of fingernail polish versus alcohol ink in water, making ATCs, artist trading coins. And they can be used as bases to build upon. They can be used just as they are if you absolutely love them. But since that's the first time I've done that, I am curious, have you tried that before? And what were your results? And while I was doing it, were you thinking of some tip that I should know about? Please tell me in the comments, because I would really love to hear that and try it again. And also, if you've tried another technique, let me know in the comments as well, so I can try another technique. Maybe it's another versus fingernail polish, or another versus alcohol ink, or another one of our media that we use. So please do let me know in the comments, and I'll be back and try that again. Thanks so much. Have a rest of a great week. Bye-bye.